We now know more about the Analogue 3D, which was originally announced about a year ago. I made a video about it at the time. I talked about that along with the Mars FPGA, the latter of which may or may not be coming out at all, who knows. But the good news is, the Analogue 3D is officially coming out in the first quarter of 2025. The pre-orders are set for October 21st, which may or may not be done by the time this video is out. There's a wireless controller from 8BitDo made for the system, and that will also work on the Switch and PC. It promises full compatibility with the N64 library, and the price is cheaper than I expected at $250 MSRP. However, I'm just not feeling it at this point. I'm going to tell you why. So let's get started. So for me, the biggest reason why this system doesn't matter a whole lot anymore is that I now have other options in 2024 to play N64 games on FPGA hardware. The emergence of the MiSTER Pi from Takiudan, as well as QM-Tech's MiSTER FPGA board, have given retro gamers much more affordable ways to get into the MiSTER project. Either one of those options can give you a complete setup with add-ons included for close to $200, which was not the case last year. Last year, you could get a Jurassic DE10 Nano, which is over $200 for just the board alone, and then you had to get add-ons. The first batch of the MiSTER Pi sold out pretty quickly, and the QM-Tech board has been selling out pretty quickly on AliExpress whenever it's been up. So they're not the easiest thing to get right now. However, they are here on the market, and I'll probably get one of those boards eventually. $250 for a console that can only play one system just doesn't seem that appealing to me at this point, even if it's for a system that is known for being difficult to emulate in the past. With the MiSTER, I can play a ton of other systems as well, not just N64. The main advantage of the Analogue 3D is that it's a plug-and-play experience. You put in the cartridge, plug in a controller, and start playing. That does not matter as much to me. I don't mind spending a little bit of time to get a MiSTER set up on the software side of things. But another thing is that the N64 core for MiSTER has come a long way in a very short period of time. I've been following Video Game Esoterica's channel for updates on the core because he follows the project almost religiously, and every game is now playable, even if a handful of games need to be patched beforehand, or the turbo version of the core needs to be used. That core was said to be impossible originally, but now it is a reality. Let me know in the comments if you have the MiSTER Pi or the QM-Tech board. I'd love to know what you think because I'm thinking about buying one in the future. As far as the actual system goes, I do have some minor concerns about it. My biggest has to do with the controller. I know 8BitDo has a good reputation overall, and I'm not worried about build quality here. However, the N64 controller has been a hard controller for third-party companies to match. In particular, the analog sticks on these third-party options just don't compare to the control stick found on the original controller. I know this personally because I have a wired version of the Retrobit Tribute 64 controller, and the stick is a bit too sensitive. This is a problem if you're trying to play a shooter like GoldenEye or Perfect Dark, where you need to aim your shots with the analog stick. It also makes it harder to play certain racing games like F-Zero X, making a game like that feel even twitchier than it should be. Now I know that you can hook up an original controller to the Analogue 3D, but those controllers will not last forever. Can 8BitDo pull off an N64 controller that accurately recreates the feel of the original controller's analog stick within a more modern two-handled design? We'll have to see. I hope so, but I have my doubts about that. And of course, I have my concerns about Analogue as a company. I am not a fan of their business practices at all. Their business model is built on FOMO, with artificial scarcity and tons of limited edition releases. Look at how they have milked the Analogue Pocket lately. They did a transparent version, some glow-in-the-dark ones, GBC colors as well. The worst one in my opinion was the $500 aluminum one. On top of that, they seem to have no problem selling to scalpers over actual gamers. They should be limiting pre-orders to just one per person, but they only limit it to just two. The scalpers can buy one for themselves and then buy another to sell on eBay later for a higher price. It really doesn't help that all of their pre-orders start at 8 AM Pacific time, which means that just about everyone in the US that can afford their products is at work. I have a full-time job, so I don't have time in the middle of the morning to sit at a computer to compete with scalpers to get a pre-order done. Unless they change their policies with the Analogue 3D's pre-order, I don't see any hope. I'm concerned that a lot of gamers are not going to be able to get their hands on this system at MSRP just because of Analogue's business practices. So yeah, I'm just not that excited in 2024 for this system. I think it'll be a good system and deliver on its promises even if I don't like Analogue as a company. The price isn't that bad, honestly, but good luck trying to get one during the pre-order. I'll probably just get the QM Tech MiSTER board or the MiSTER Pi from Taki Udon at some point. If you want a plug and play experience though, with original cartridges and maybe even your original controller, then the Analogue 3D is going to be the better option. But what do you think of the Analogue 3D coming out next year? Are you more excited about it than I am, or do you agree with me about the reality of the current FPGA gaming market? Do you just dislike Analogue as a company, kinda like I do? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe for more videos from me. Thank you for watching and I'll see you again soon.